how did you get your start into motorcycles? Because I know talking with you there a little bit before we were doing the episode this week, you said you got like over 30 bikes now. So that's a passion that's got to be bred into you, right?
Oh yeah, man. So it's kind of weird. I didn't really. I kind of grew up on a farm, and we had some land, and so I always kind of rode four wheelers or something like that. But I didn't get into dirt bikes until I was like 14 years old, and started kind of racing motocross and got the bug. And next thing you know, the stick and ball sports all got cast aside, and it was nothing but eat, sleep, breathe motocross racing for like the next 15 years. That's all, that's all I did. No other aspect of motorcycling whatsoever. Had to be jumping, had to be motocross. But that led me down the road to find all the other, motorcycle passions I have. So it was worth it. But uh, yeah, it was all motocross.
That's kind of similar how I started out as well. Used to race at Pyramid Valley up here, right off of I-79 all the time, and that
Absolutely.
kind of transitioned into off-road racing with GNCC and hare scrambles, and then when I figured out that I got too many kids to go fast and job and responsibilities, and that transferred into dual sport riding. So, yeah, that's kind of a similar path
Yeah.
there.
Now here we are.
Yeah.
I didn't really get into riding until I was probably 22, 23. Um, I've only really been riding regularly since probably 2018 or so.
Yep.
Nice. Never too late.
No,
No, I'm glad I started when I did.
yeah, that's definitely a theme that we've touched on a lot. Is you're
Yeah.
never too late to get started into riding or racing or what
Yep.
have you. Ryan, what was your first motorcycle, man?
So my first motorcycle was a 2001 KX 125.
Oh,
So the way
nice.
it all kind of started was we were at the Putnam County Fair one year, and the motocross races came on, right? While my little brother, I didn't really catch the bug, but he kind of caught the bug watching the races, and he told my dad, he was like, "Hey, I want a dirt bike." So my dad goes out and gets him a TTR 90.
Mm.
Now I'm like 14 at this time, right? So when he's not on that TTR 90, I was on that TTR 90, and I was like, wait a second, this is a blast. And so then I told dad, I was like, I want a dirt bike. And he took me down to the Harley Davidson Kawasaki shop in South Charleston. And we got a brand new '01 KX 125, all green with a little bit of purple. And I remember that wasn't like jetted right off the showroom. It would foul plugs every time I would shut it off. But that's what started the whole thing for me, man.
That's awesome, bud. Yeah, KX 125. That's a hell of a bike to start out on.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I have this hayfield below my house, and I was just down there, and luckily I had this huge area because I've been riding the TTR 90, and I'd never rode a bike with a clutch, and I'm just like watching my hand and trying to release, and I had this big area to learn on, and luckily, but yeah, it's a heck of a bike to start on.
Yeah, it always seems like it's Z50s or TTRs or something of that sort. But
Yep.
I got a friend of mine whose first motorcycle he ever had and learned how to ride on was an old XL 500. His dad's
Wow.
motto was, I'm going to buy you one bike for your entire life, and you're never getting another one. So he's not going to waste money. So it's kind of funny to see who's everybody's different
Yeah.
starting bikes
If
out.
you're going to start them out on a 500, start them young, so you got
Yeah.
time to make a second one if things don't go right.
Yeah. What So did you start out trail riding a little bit, or was it all just motocross, jumping, that type of thing?
Man, I had like a couple hay fields behind my house, and I kind of would make kind of like a turn track. And, that lasted months. And then, we're out there with shovels building jumps.
Oh yeah.
And the next thing my dad was all into it. And the next thing like, we happened to have a farm bulldozer, and he was renting equipment. We were, we built two tracks here at my house, and it was just, it kind of goes on from there. We were
Oh,
100% in.
yeah, that's awesome. So did you when did your racing career start with motocross?
I started in, really in '02 probably. 01, 02 doing like Milton, Air Mountain, Pyramid Valley, just local stuff like that. And then it was, we did that for probably a year. And then somebody invited us, somebody we met there invited us to a Mega Series race. They said, you got to come down to Muddy Creek for a Mega Series race. And I'm like, that sounds scary, like Mega Series. And we go down there, and I can remember we pulled into the track in the motorhome, and we had an old motorhome and a box trailer, and we pulled in, and it was too dark. And I woke up the next morning. I remember just opening my camper door and seeing this huge track throughout the whole valley with manicured grass and just this amazing facility. And it was so intimidating. And from then on, we pretty much only did Mega Series stuff from there on out, and just hit Milton on some Friday nights and stuff. But I remember that so vividly.
I got a similar story to that. Like I said, I kind of started out motocross as well. We were doing arena cross and everything else that was out there, jumping wise. But I
Sure.
remember one weekend we loaded up the conversion van in the box trailer and got to Tomahawk, and it was like right when it first opened. And similar thing, we come there in the middle of the night, you couldn't really see what was going on. I remember getting out of the conversion van and looking around there, and I think by the time I woke up, like the 250S were practicing. I'm seeing these guys clear these giant triples, tabletops. I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
I'm way in over my head on my little RM 125 out here.
Mm-hmm.
But that can be intimidating to a new person seeing something like that. But